Hey guys, Parminder Singh, London Properties in Kingsburg, and this is the second video of my series Faces and Places. And today I'm very pleased to be meeting here with Alex Henderson. Nice to meet you, Alex. Well, we've met before,
That's
but
right, yeah.
meeting again here. Alex is our city manager, and he's been here about 3.5 years. And we are on site where Westar Construction is going to be building some new homes. So we figured this will be of great value. So please feel free to like, share, and comment on this video once you get an opportunity. And Alex is going to discuss this project as well as other things going on downtown, like the concrete work that's going on down there, and also some nice business incentives that are available for people to move into town. So Alex, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You got it, my pleasure. And here's the project.
Yeah.
Tell us about this thing.
Yeah, so we're kind of in the middle right now. I think we're almost exactly in the middle of the Westar project. So just to give folks their bearings a little bit. So we're north of Kamm Avenue. We are on the east side of Mendocino, sort of in the northeast part of town. The Westar project just recently had their map approved by the city's planning commission, and now the next step will be starting the annexation process. And so there's about 42 acres or so here. I've got about 120 single-family homes that they're looking to build. All the lots are larger than 7,000 square feet. 25% or more are larger than 10,000 square feet. So the subdivision also includes a large sort of regional park as well that will be here. It includes interconnectivity, so you'll be able to connect to the neighborhoods to the east, and then eventually, as the city grows, to the south in between Kamm and this property, and then obviously to the west on the west side of Mendocino as well. That's one of the policy goals for the city, is to make sure that all of our neighborhoods are connected for pedestrians and bicyclists, and, so that people can get out of their cars and get to green space as well.
So what kind of time frame are we looking at? Because annexation, of course, takes a lot of time. Give us an idea of when we might see, because we can already see that they're pulling out, they're prepping the ground a little bit.
Yeah, they are. And so what's happened is that the map has been approved by the planning commission. So then what happens is the city council starts the annexation process, and then that actually goes to a separate entity, which is called LAFCO, which means Local Agency Formation Commission, and they're the ones that they have the final say. And so, assuming all goes well, I'd say that's probably between a 90 and 120 day process.
Okay.
So you could be looking at potential work beginning, sort of end of this year.
Okay.
Maybe early next year, and some of that's weather dependent, obviously. But yeah, and obviously, as motivated as the developer is to start pulling permits and start building.
Sure. And Westar, I don't know if all the viewers know that Westar is a local company right here out of Kingsburg.
Yep.
Built a lot of homes around here near Reagan School. All that area was developed by him.
That's correct.
And so this will be a nice project. They do build a nice quality product. So will the roads go in first, or do they go? What can residents expect to see?
Yeah, so I know that it's a phased project. There's a couple of phases, and so but yes, what happens is the infrastructure improvements essentially happen first. So they've got to level all this out, get it ready to build. There's some, if you look at the maps, which you can certainly find on the city's website as well, but you'll see that there are roads that are inside the neighborhood, and then there's also roads that will eventually connect to other neighborhoods. So you've got Solig here that will eventually connect to Mendocino, and so they've got to put in water, sewer. They're going to underground a lot of these electrical overhead things out front, and so a lot of those things will happen first. You'll see the sort of the earthwork done first, and then eventually start raising sticks.
People always ask, not good or bad, but people ask, is there going to be multi-family homes? Is there Section 8 housing in here? Is there anything like that, or is it, speak to that?
Sure. So in this particular project, it's all single-family housing. So there's been a few iterations of the map that have gone back and forth, and some of the earlier versions did have some triplexes, market rate triplexes, but eventually the map evolves, and ultimately this will all be single family, low density, single family housing, so it should be a nice project.
Okay, very good. How's that going to affect the money we get from property taxes? How does that affect roads, repairing old roads in town? How does that work, where some people say, well, we want to keep Kingsburg small, but then we need growth to help pay for everything that's existing?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fine balance. So a lot of it is market driven, as we've talked about a little bit, in terms of when growth happens, and we have some pretty high standards in terms of property development, especially as it relates to single family housing, and so they've got to meet all those guidelines that Kingsburg has in place. In terms of paying for their impact, every single home has to pay what's called an impact fee. So some of the current concerns we hear about are traffic and just sort of those things, and so they all pay into a fund, and so that ultimately, if eventually Kamm and Mendocino has to have a signalized intersection, they're all paying their fair share. And then on the other side, these homes and all new developments will pay into what's called a community facilities district, where they're actually paying a separate amount of money that will help pay for police and fire services and maintaining those parks. And so we always hear a little bit about hey, our resources are stretched thin as they are. If we're adding more people, how are we going to be able to add more police and fire? And that's what that fund is set up for.
I see. Well, then, just a thought, will we be drilling a new well out here, or is there enough supply for water? That's always been an issue. We've had a great year of water, but will there be a new municipal well going in, or is there enough?
So what happens is that any new development has to complete an environmental document, and the city has master plans for things like water, and we've got road master plan, things like that, and so they've got the developers required to do those studies, and then it can be determined whether or not we've got so groundwater is not necessarily the issue. The aquifer in Kingsburg is in pretty good shape. The issue is whether or not we have enough well capacity and infrastructure to pump it up to what we need. And so I don't believe that this initial one is about 120 houses will require a new well, but again, they'll pay into a fund because there is an impact that eventually when we reach that threshold, that these people are paying their fair share for when we do have to drill a new well.
Okay, so everybody pays for that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, that's nice to see. Thanks for all the info on the housing. Folks, we do need new homes here in Kingsburg. Right now, it's somewhat of a seller's market. We've got buyers here as realtors that we do need new homes, and our kids grow here and they want to live here too, so it's a great project. Next thing I would like to ask about, downtown at the gym, when we see them jackhammering all the sidewalks, well, what's going on?
Yeah, so it's sort of at the tail end now. So they've started at one end of Draper on each side, and they've moved their way towards California, and so anyone who's been downtown has seen, specifically we've had some brick pavers in there, and at one point those pavers actually, underneath them there was an irrigation system, because there used to be planters that had flower baskets on some of the street lights. And so they used to serve, that's what fed the water, but over time those have gone away, and subsequently because of that irrigation that was under there, those pavers have shifted, and you've got some street trees that have matured. So we had some you've got some trip fall hazards that we really wanted to take care of, and so our downtown is great because it's clean. It's so beautiful with the mature trees and the landscaping, that we wanted to make it as safe as possible too. Obviously we have a lot of festivals and a lot of businesses in the downtown, so we had a project that was one of the focuses of City Council over the last year, is to get those issues hammered out, and we're coming to the end of that project here within the next hopefully few days or week or so, and I think it's just another asset that's kind of make sure that our downtown is a desirable place to be.
It is. It's looking a lot better. Yeah, you can walk without tripping on one of those. And things happen over time, you know, so it's a nice thing to add.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just what kind of budget are we looking at? Is that available? You know, what kind of cost went into that?
Sure. So I believe that one is between $40,000 and $50,000. But what's nice is that the city gets a lot of funding from the state through either gas taxes or a local transportation fund, which is kind of a shared revenue type of item, and so they help pay for those types of improvements. And so we've been pretty fiscally responsible over the last few years in helping to build those funds up so that we would have some fund balance able to pay for those improvements. And so it's not general fund dollars, which is nice, but you know, they're being used to, again, improve the pedestrian safety and just enhance, you know, our downtown.
Sure. Okay, sounds good. And then before the concrete work started, we saw some roads being done right behind. How does the city determine which roads are getting maintenance and which ones? Is there a, you know, squeaky wheel gets the new blacktop, or you know, how does that work?
No, I mean, actually there's a program that we put together, and we do an assessment on all of the city's streets.
Okay.
And so what happens is that those are rated based upon their condition. Now I'll tell you that obviously, you know, roads that are more heavily traveled receive a little bit higher priority, just because of their usage, and you know, even, you know, sometimes a neighborhood street. But we try to balance those sorts of things, and so obviously you saw, I mean, Smith Street was well due to be done, and then obviously California really needed to be done, and that was kind of a dual purpose project. You know, we were able to add the bulb-out corners, which were for pedestrian safety, and then enhance sort of the front of the train depot as that was completing its rehab. You know, obviously, you know, one of our downtown, you know, centerpieces is that renovation that's been done, and so you know, again, promoting that pedestrian activity, making it safe, and you know, really just trying to make our downtown a place that's aesthetically pleasing to visit.
Sure. Yeah. Along that note, we had where Coffee Grounds is, right on the corner near the train depot. We had that bad fire.
Yeah.
Those businesses had to relocate. So, so what's going on with that kind of stuff?
Sure.
Is
so,
there anything in place?
yeah, a lot of people in town know it as the old Stone Hotel. There's some great old photos of, you know, that building, and so we are pretty lucky to have these buildings in town that were built in, you know, 1910, 1912, you know, over a century old. Yeah. So we were really sad, obviously, when the Stone Hotel fire happened, and obviously those businesses were replaced. We've been lucky to relocate them, a couple of them, into the downtown, into new spaces that have reopened. But so that building has been sold. There's a new owner. He's going through the mitigation process, the abatement process. They found some asbestos in that building, so they have to go through some state mandated processes, and then he eventually will demolish that building. And then he's been working with the city on what he wants to do there. He's been great to work with. You know, we expect that it'll be at least a 2-story building, potentially 3, with the ground floor, you know, back for retail purposes and commercial purposes. So, and potentially either apartments or, you know, something along those lines on the upper floors, you know, maybe an office space. So, you know, something that will really enhance that entrance to downtown and you know, provide, you know, foot traffic for that area.
Okay, very good. I want to touch on incentives for businesses, especially kind of following up on your guys' big success with Kingsburg being one of the top 5 cities in the U.S. out of what, 14,000 applicants.
Yeah.
That kind of puts Kingsburg on the map.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing or offering as a city for incentives for business to open?
Sure.
What can an owner say, hey, I want to open up in a place where I can maybe get an incentive?
Yeah, absolutely. So for everyone that comes in, and if you're building a new building in town or opening a new business in town, you get a 25% reduction off your impact fees. That's for starters. If you've got sales tax, you get a 3-year 50% refund on your sales tax, and you get a 3-year 50% rebate on your property tax. So those are programs that are designed to make sure that, you know, for the long term, those businesses, you know, historically, especially small businesses, when they come, first couple of years can be the most difficult. We want to make sure that, you know, we're sharing some of that revenue with them, so that they can be successful in the long run. And we've seen some businesses in town take advantage of that. Ace Hardware is one of them. O'Reilly's, things like that. And you've got some new ones like Stack, even restaurants, and obviously Deli Delicious, and some of those ones will be eligible as well. So that's a couple of them. We've got some individualized incentives. One of the things that the council has been really aggressive with is making sure, we want some that are sort of an umbrella incentive, but we want to format these so that they work for each individual business. It's not necessarily a one-size-fits-all approach. So if you're bringing jobs, if you're bringing a quality project to town, there are options, and we want to be creative, and we want to be partners with them. So you saw Safe Food Alliance is going in the business park, and we were able to work with them to get them located here. That's a Westar project as well. And so, we obviously want to see some of that momentum continue in the business park, and we've got some other projects that are lined up there. But we've also really focused on our downtown vibrancy and making sure that stays busy, and some of those things, like you can see, we've started some upper floor rehab programs. We've got facade improvement programs where we provide some matching grants to private developers, because we know that there's a multiplier effect there, and that benefits everyone in the downtown. So you can see projects like the Marion Villas project, which was a mixed-use project, senior housing. Now you've got Deli Delicious open below it. Anything that can drive foot traffic helps promote more amenities, and that helps the existing residents that are here as well. And so we want to see that continue, and make sure that Kingsburg is a place where people want to visit and come back, and really have a unique experience in downtown.
Yeah, no, it's we're definitely entering a new age in Kingsburg. With a lot of good things going on here. Real quick, because this might be another interview I'm going to do a little down the road, but touch on the Grace Church. Big project, huge, going up. Maybe a couple details on that one.
Yeah, the Grace Church project. So most people in town obviously know Old Del Monte site. Focal point, entry point into the city, and so we've worked it's probably going on 4 years now with the church and that development, and obviously people have seen now that they've been able to get the site cleared, and get the permitting and approval processes out of the way, and now they've been really going pretty quickly here with their construction. And so I know they have a great vision. There's a couple of buildings going up there. One is their sanctuary, and the other one is some classrooms and some other things for their Sunday school services. And so they've been great to work with, good community partners, and so we're excited to see that project happening, and then we'll start to work on what can possibly happen with the warehouse there, and how we can repurpose that for some sort of community benefit, and they've been really willing and open to discuss those things. So we're excited.
Very cool. Alex,
hey man,
thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. It was a great chat there, and I hope everybody watching the video enjoys it as much as I did. We're enjoying the nice sun before it hits 110. So guys, if there's anything that you'd like to hear about or hear from, please let me know. Feel free to like it, share it, comment on it. I would love to get some feedback. And if you have any real estate questions, or you want to buy or sell real estate, please give me a call, Parminder Singh at London Properties, right here in Kingsburg. You guys have a great day, and God bless.